Now I had my Walter Payton jersey on, but for the video, I had to put on my Caleb Williams jersey. Oh man, you can't make it up. I don't hear any Commander fans talking crap today. Yeah, now they're all quiet. They're as quiet as church mouses today. Are some of them going to say, I'm going to stand on business and I'm still going to be talking crap? Who the hell cares, bro? Who the hell cares? You guys lost. Just like how y'all should have lost last year. But if it wasn't for dummy Eberflus, then we would have won the game. Why don't the national sports outlets post that Jaden Daniels fumble over and over and over again? Why don't they do that? Yeah, why don't they do that? Like they post and like how they shown over and over and over again the stupid Hail Mary. That was the luckiest Hail Mary in NFL history because you had a stupid head coach at the time who gave up those extra yards, say those yards didn't matter, and you had Tyreek Stevenson acting like a dummy, not paying attention to the assignment. Bears somehow did it again. Coming off the bye week, they somehow found a way to win a game that they probably should have lost. Well, realistically, we should have put this game away a lot sooner, but what do I know? When you're going up against not only the Commanders, you're also in some instances beating yourself, and then on top of it, I didn't expect the Zebras to get involved in the game and absolutely rig the game to the point I'm legitimately believing they must have put money on the Commanders to win the game, which if they did very much, well, they're definitely not going home happy today because the Bears found a way to win. Because every single turn I took, every time the Bears had a positive play, oh, yellow flag on the play, holding on the offense. Actually, no holding, but some BS penalty that they came out of their head thinking, "Oh, the Bears did this. We gotta call this." I counted like almost 7 penalties against the Bears that were just some of the most BS worthy penalties I've seen ever. I'm shocked that we won today and we somehow overcame not only ourselves in some instances, the Commanders, and we beat the refs. I legitimately was going to come on here, still talk about if we were to lose the game, I would still talk about instances where we could have been a lot better instead of losing, if we were to lose this game. And then I would have definitely went off and basically blamed the loss on the freaking refs because they literally took a touchdown off the board. This game wouldn't have even been a game. This game, we would have been up 2 scores on this team. And we would have beat them handily if the refs did not take away Roma Dunze's touchdown. Jesus, man. I said it time again, and I said it before, and I'll say it again. When the schedule was released for this season and they showed what teams we were playing, and I saw Washington Commanders, I legitimately was like, let's effing go. Because we need to avenge that mishap that happened last year. And honestly, I thought we weren't going to do it. After the Commanders scored their last touchdown to go up 24-16, I thought that was it. I thought, GG's, it's over. We done. We lost this game. We beat ourselves too much. The refs had way too much of an influence on this game. Caleb, I thought, was fine. He could have played better in some instances. It's just too much to overcome. But then you have in like damn near 2 plays, DeAndre Swift goes right down the field immediately off of one big play, touchdown, 50-yard touchdown. We don't get the 2-point conversion to tie the game. And then the Commanders are moving the ball down the field. I'm like, great, we're going to let these guys go down the field. Or one, we got the stop, and then we had one of the most bogus roughing the passers again, like earlier in the first quarter. Jaquan Brisker getting pushed down into Jaden Daniels' knees. But even when you look at it, regardless, right? As Jaden Daniels is throwing the ball right there at Jaquan Brisker's hitting him. Like he's releasing the ball right as Jaquan Brisker's hitting him. But again, of course, these dumb penalties to protect these quarterbacks and everything are just like, oh no, 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 no. It's not like he was doing anything. He hit him at the exact same time Jaden Daniels released the football. But then they called they called roughing the passer. And then, you know, we get a stop. We force them back. It's third and long. Freaking, he checks it down. Tremaine Edmonds, for whatever reason, he's just standing there instead of going to go get Nichols and making a tackle. He lets them get the first down. I'm like, we're going to lose the game. And then good old Jaden Daniels, JD5, right? On a simple handoff, he fumbled the ball. Nashawn Wright, who didn't have a good game, bobbled, recovered the fumble, and I'm just like, great, go get a touchdown because I don't trust Jake Moody at all. He already had a kick block because he kicked it too damn low. It was only a matter of time before we ended up getting our kick blocked. Only a matter of time. Well, thank God it happened on the third field goal attempt, not the final one to get this game. And then when I see us running the ball and a little bit of passing, but mostly running the ball, I'm just like, oh my God, we are going to really put the game in the hands of Jake Moody. And it's funny because when he was announced to be playing, he was announced because Cairo got hurt, and he was announced that he was going to be the guy to basically be the dude that is going to be our kicker. It's like, there were so many Bear fans that are just like, yeah, this game's going to come down to a Jake Moody field goal kick to win the game, right? And yes, people's prognostications were correct. It did come to that. And luckily, thank goodness, DeAndre Swift basically got the ball to the 20-yard line, and it was a short field goal. It wasn't a damn near a 30-plus yard field goal where, it's a lot harder. Bears got it dead center, kicked the ball. I was afraid that he was going to miss it or was going to get blocked again. And this time the Bears overcame it, went right through the middle. Good. And funny enough, I texted my boss, who's a 49ers fan, and I remember him walking to the office. We always laughed about Jake Moody, and I literally texted him like, you have every right to laugh at me if freaking Jake Moody misses this kick. And then obviously he made the kick. He said, well, he made it. So look, man, I'll take it. It wasn't pretty, but I'll take the W. I will take the W. Again, we as the fan base, we circled this game on our calendar because we knew the atrocities of last year's Hail Mary from hell. You saw my rant. My rant about that whole operation was legitimately over. That complete BS narrative that happened. And thank Christ, we found a way to overcome it. And we got our sweet revenge. Commander fans are going to be talking about how this was our Super Bowl. And even if the Bears end up being fourth place, they're going to try to pull up some receipts. At the end of the day, I don't give a crap. I don't care if you're a Commanders fan watching this game recap right now. You guys did not deserve to win last year because our dumb selves lost us that game. Just like how you guys lost the game today, we won it. And they better not do Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams 3 next year. I'm done seeing Bears Commanders. We faced these guys like 4 straight years. We faced them back in Chicago in 2022. Then we faced them in the DJ Moore game in 2023. Then last year's Hail Mary from hell. And now this year. This game's going to be called the redemption game. In my eyes, the redemption. I don't want to see next year on the schedule Washington Commanders having to come to Chicago to beat us because, it's Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels 3. I'm done seeing Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. Give me that matchup in about 3-4 years from now. That's when I'll do that matchup again. I'm done playing the Commanders. We played these guys 4 straight years. I don't want to play these guys a fifth straight year again. I'm done playing Washington Commanders football. And if we do play them again, we better not be going back over to Landover, Maryland. They got to come to our place next time. And it's funny that Commander fans talking about, oh, this is your Super Bowl that you guys won. Ninjas, these damn dudes were wearing the exact same jerseys they wore when they beat us last year. The black jerseys with the black helmets and the black pants. Please. Yeah, but this is our Super Bowl. Man, y'all guys treated this as your Super Bowl with the way you guys were acting like this. And then the fan base over there on Twitter was talking a bunch of shit like, oh, we're going to beat you guys easily. Uh-huh. What happened now? We beat you again. We beat you. We beat you. Jesus. Anyways, the Bears found a way to win this game. Again, another prop to the Bears. These are the type of games where we see the Bears lose. These are the type of games where we see the Bears lose. Where one bad mistake happens, and then there's a trickle-down effect, and then we find a way to lose this game. This is probably like, dare I say, the second straight week or second straight game where we've actively look. Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. Despite all the BS atrocities of the refs, there were still instances in this game where we beat ourselves. We definitely should have put more points on the board than what we left. We should have dropped 30 points. Shit, we may should have dropped 40 points on their asses. That's how much the offense left on the table today. That's how much points the offense left on the table. And honestly, the defense would have got more stops if it wasn't for the BS refs. Which means, AKA, we would have won this game in a blowout. But regardless, there's still instances where we're beating ourselves and everything. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, whether it is you don't look the most prettiest, you don't look the best. At the end of the day, you're going to take a win because any win you can get, especially in the NFL, is a win you can take. And for this organization, that's all we care about. Just find ways to win, to establish a winning culture. I said this in my Raiders game recap. This is how you find ways to win and you overcome what you've been known as the bad new Bears. Anything that could go wrong goes wrong, and then we still find a way to lose a game. These are the type of games where you're in the jaws of defeat. You have adversity facing your face. What are you going to do about it? They talked about it. I think it was Lisa Salters. She talked about how when Caleb Williams, after I think one of the drives, I think it was after the botched snap, right? Where he went to the sideline, he was complaining everything, and Lisa Salters said, "Hey, the coaches went to Caleb, told him, hey, dude, calm down. It's okay. We still got a lot of game left." Like JT Barrett is telling this dude, like, "Hey, man, stay calm, stay cool. It's gonna pay off. Listen, focus up. Let's focus on what we need to do right, and let's get it on. Let's calm down. We still got enough time on the clock to find a way to win this game." And again, props to JT Barrett and the coaching staff, and even Case Keenum, because we saw Case Keenum talking with Caleb Williams too, talking with him on the bench. See, Caleb Williams, the reason why he acted like that is because he's remembering the shit from last year, of the fact of, great, this shit is happening again at home again for me, and it's happening again, and we're not executing right, and I'm getting frustrated. And yet Case Keenum and the coaching staff tell him, "Hey, dude, we got a lot of time left. Calm down. You need to play better. We all need to play better as a team. Calm down. Let's not do this right now. Let's keep focused, get focused." And guess what? The next drive, we got the ball back. We went down to the touchdown to at least cut it to a 2-point game. See, that's the type of stuff. I am happy for Caleb this week because he finally overcome the demons of last year, and he won in a place that he grew up in Washington, D.C., technically Maryland, but you get my point, right? But you see, you get the point. There was every way, every turn we found a way to lose. Whether it was the Nashawn Wright, just for whatever reason, just charging in on a fake screen pass and letting Luke McCaffrey go right past him for a fucking touchdown. Nashawn Wright did not play good today. He was definitely getting picked apart. But there was the defense at some points in the game. Early in the game, we were getting stops, forcing turnovers, freaking getting pressure. And then late second quarter, and then basically most of the second half until really late fourth quarter, we didn't really get any pressure. And it's just like, oh, great. See, here it does it look like. The defensive line still has problems, man. We still have problems rushing the passer. Albeit, by far, this is the best we've looked, in my opinion, since the fucking Vikings game. The defensive line looked, in terms of getting pressure, looked the best, at getting to, at least getting pressure. There was times when we did get a few sacks on Jaden today, but there was times, I will say, like, this game reminded me a little bit of the Vikings game where we were able to get pressure, but then but then on the middle part of the game, we stopped getting it, especially at the end of the game in the Vikings game, we barely got any pressure. But this time, we did get pressure. We did get home to Jaden Daniels. We did force him to make some mistakes there and everything. Right? For example, again, yes, the elements have a way to play with the rain and the fumble. But who's to say that Jaden Daniels getting hit so much played a factor in him fumbling that ball away? So, there's that. We forced an interception on Jaden Daniels. We made Jakari Croskett Merritt, aka Bill, because they could not stop talking about him, fumble to the point he got in his head. He looked like he was about to fucking cry in the sidelines. Yeah, he got some nice runs here and there, but I remember once he fumbled that shit, it looked like he was about to cry. You know? That's the thing. That is the thing. Defense, they played, I would say, a solid game. I would give them a solid B minus C plus game. Could have been better in some instances, but they did enough. They forced 3 turnovers, albeit technically 2 turnovers. The third one was kind of an indictment on Jaden Daniels, but whatever. 3 turnovers were forced. We managed to actually surprisingly limit the run damage that they could do. Like, yeah, especially in the middle part of the game. Did Jaden Daniels and Merritt and Nichols, they get some nice gains? Yeah, they did. They most certainly did, but it wasn't something that was killing us. Like, it was definitely something that wasn't killing us. So props to the coaching staff. Props to Dennis Allen for over the bye week to hammer down on these guys. Look, man, we got to stop the run, because if we don't stop the run, these guys are going to beat us. And that's the reason why we were in this game for as long as they were, because the Commanders weren't really running the ball too effectively. We actually did a good job at stopping their run game, whether it was Jaden Daniels, Merritt, or Nichols. Yeah, again, like I said, they got a nice maybe 10-yard, 15-yard gain here and there throughout the game. And yes, it infuriated me. And me and my dad are screaming at the TV saying, like, bro, when you have a hand on him, get him down. But they didn't really do anything that was crazy damage. They didn't really have, outside of maybe the Luke McCaffrey play, not really a big explosive play. So that was good. The pass rush was good. There are still some instances where it needs to be better. Again, Sweat, I really hurt he did force a fumble today. But there was like one instance where it's clear Jaden Daniels is going to run the ball because he has nothing there to throw. And he overcommits. And he lets Jaden Daniels go inside. And I'm like, dude, come on now. Um, you know, Tyreek Stevenson, not too bad. Kyler Gordon could have played a little bit better. He definitely was getting a little bit toasted here and there. It is his first game back, so I guess I can express it. I guess I can let it go. TJ Edwards, I thought he was fine. So stuff like that. Nashawn Wright, man, Jesus, man, is he the only best cornerback we got left? Like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. There's got to be somebody better on the free agent market, better than Nashawn Wright, bro. He sucks. Sucks, bro. People are now targeting him, and it's obviously making Tyreek Stevenson not look too bad. And Tyreek Stevenson, he only got beat on one play, but on that, he played a good game to himself today. Um, yeah, but Nashawn Ryan, I'm telling you, we can't find anybody else that's either on a practice squad or out there in the free market that's better than this guy, or somebody where we can just trade maybe like a fifth round or sixth round pick and just be like, hey man, compete for the starting point position. We'll give you an opportunity to see. Like, there's nothing else. Because my God, just imagine we had Jalen Johnson in this game. They're probably doing nothing offensively. Oh man. And then yeah, there were some instances where Tremaine Edmonds didn't play too well. I thought he had a solid game today, but like I said, that one third down where Nichols catches it in the flats. I don't know what Tremaine Edmonds is doing. He's just standing there like chopping his feet. Dog, he's running for the first down because he's trying to go win the game. Go get him. Um, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of anything else from the defense that. Oh, another thing I didn't like, it was like one fourth down, fourth and short, right? Fourth and two. They pass it. Now, the Commanders do run a pick play, which should have been a penalty called. They didn't call it. Um, but you had Demarcus Robinson, a defensive lineman, covering a fucking running back. Why? What in that defense has you structured where he's dropping out in zone and he has to be the one to cover the running back? He plays defensive line. I don't understand. That was something on like Eberflus level of defensive play calling. Why we have a defensive lineman covering a freaking covering a running back. And I don't care if he has the body of a linebacker. There's a reason why Demarcus Robinson is a defensive lineman. You have either Tremaine Edmonds or TJ Edwards cover the running back. What are we doing here? That was probably the worst play call of the game and on the defensive side of the ball, as well as probably the worst play call I've seen from Dennis Allen this year. If I'm seeing defensive linemen having to cover running backs or like a receiver or something, you're asking to lose. Enough of that crap. Enough of that. Regardless, props to the Bears defense. When there was times when they needed to force a field goal, they forced a field goal. One of the times that they did force a field goal, it ended up in a block for Matt Gay. And they also forced a field goal, I think, right before halftime, which was good. So, yes. Okay, offensively. Let's get into the offense. Because the offense, again, look, I'll give credit where credit due. The Bears found a way, especially on offense, to win. Yes, there are instances that the Bears definitely on offense need to play better. You know, again, what we're seeing from the Bears offense is we're seeing, okay, this offense can move the ball down the field. They can get big gains. Caleb Williams, when he's playing in structure, he can get the ball out and he can get it to his receivers and we can get into the red zone. The problem is we are not converting these red zone opportunities from field goals into touchdowns. We needed touchdowns, not field goals. And there's times where, so here's my thing. Ben Johnson's offense is working. We're good enough to get into the red zone. We just got to put the ball in the end zone, and we got to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. Whether it's the penalties or muff snaps and stuff like that, whatever. But you get my point. Like, our offense is good enough to get into the red zone. We're a good enough offense where, yeah, maybe we'll punt here and there, but it definitely looks like our offense can be explosive, where we can get in the red zone consistently. Like, I think there's the one game where, yeah, we got in the red zone pretty consistently. So if there was something that I could build on and I could say, okay, that was good. We're able to get in the red zone consistently. That's good. We got to turn the field goals into touchdowns. Because if we had turned those field goals into touchdowns, this game's over by the third quarter. It's a complete blowout. Complete blowout. Caleb Williams, I thought he played a solid game. Yeah, there's still some things he needs to improve on, but he's going to get better the more he gets to understand this offense. The only thing that irritated me is just him still, holding on to the ball a little bit too much when the play obviously gets out of structure. Yes, like, okay, fine, cool. You don't need to be Superman every freaking time, bro. And then again, I still don't like it when he's drifting. I'm now getting to the point where I'm just cringing. Every single time he runs outside the pocket and he's running to the sideline, running to the sideline, running to the sideline. Oh, I'm running out of room before it, and boom, he gets fucking hit by Frankie Louvu. I said this in my halftime show, the little mini halftime show live stream. He got popped by Frankie Louvu because he just wanted Seth to have a play, live for another down. I don't, Ben Jones has got to hammer down on this dude and say, dude, just freaking throw it away. Just throw it away. It's okay. I understand it's third down. Trust your defense. Your defense is playing good. You don't need to do too much because that's when you're going to make a mistake. He still has that issue of not knowing when to let a play die. Like, I'm just like, dude, let it go. Just throw it out of bounds. It's okay. We'll live for it. We'll live to play another down. Because I don't want you getting hurt like with Frankie Louvu popping you right there on the sideline. I also didn't appreciate the fact that the Bears, well, one, they probably didn't want to get any penalties, so smart on the Bears, but still, even then, you see your quarterback take a hit like that, you got to be pressing Frankie Louvu, be like, bro, stop this shit. That, honestly, if you're asking, that should be roughing the passer. That should be, now, see, if Caleb Williams had threw the ball out of bounds and then Frankie Louvu hit him, that would have warranted a roughing the passer. Now, that's one of the type of hits where that should be a roughing the passer instead of the BS roughing the passers that Jaden Daniels got tonight. But there are still some instances. Yes, there was instances where he missed, again, he still missed some dudes. He underthrew Roma Dunze on a fade ball that probably, if caught, should have been a freaking touchdown, like a walk-in touchdown. He underthrew it slightly. He got to put a little bit more air on that. Regardless, Roma Dunze tried to make a play on the ball. You got to catch that. There's still obviously some inconsistency there, but regardless, I still think he's looking better. There's not. What else can I say? He's looking like the guy, and again, he puts us in positions down when we got to have it drive. He puts us in position to win the game. When it's 24-16, all hope looks lost. Boom, he makes a play, gives it to DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift does his thing, touchdown. He keeps us in games, and then even on that last drive, yeah, mostly the running game did, but he did make one pass on a third down to pick up the first down to get us in the field goal range. And then obviously the run game obviously worked. So that's good. And he did. Yeah, 17 for 29, 252 yards passing, 1 TD. Should have had 2 touchdowns today. If not for the rest rigging us. Receiver-wise, DeAndre Swift had the most receptions. 2 receptions for 67 yards. Luther Burden, 4 receptions for 51 yards. Got to see Luther Burden a lot more today. DJ Moore, 3 receptions, 42. Roma Dunze, probably the lowest game he had. 2 for 32. Kyle Monangai, 1 for 25. Zacchaeus, 2 for 24. He would have had definitely over 100 yards receiving if he didn't drop that pass. That was the only thing that pissed me off there too, because the Bears got exactly what they wanted. It was man across the board, and for whatever reason, Commanders' defense was set where they had Bobby Wagner covering Zacchaeus. If Caleb throws a perfect ball at Zacchaeus' chest, bro, if he just gets his hands up and catches the ball, dude, he had all green. He would have freaking sprinted and ran and walked in for a fucking touchdown. Honestly, I will say it's kind of happy that didn't happen, because that means it would have gave the Commanders time to score a touchdown and try to pull up another come from behind win. So in some instances, that's the thing. But at the end of the day, he's going to get chewed out in the film room. The ball hits you on the hands. That's a fucking touchdown. That would have been a touchdown right there. There was nobody after that. They played straight cover zero press. and they have Bobby Wagner covering Zacchaeus, and he dropped that. That could have honestly also been a fucking dagger in the nail. But that's gonna be better. Colston Loveland, 2 receptions for 11 yards. He still needs to be fucking targeted more. Again, you already have Bear fans complaining, oh, Tyler Warren, we made a mistake. Listen, guys, Tyler Warren would be put into the same type of stuff that Colston Loveland is doing. Because you want to know the difference? Tyler Warren is legitimately, you can make the case outside of him or Pittman, he is probably the more than likely the number one option they got over there. Now, I still am in the opinion they need to throw to Colston Loveland a little bit more. Ben Johnson needs to target him a bit more. They need to play more design play. Like they ran a freaking a tight end screen for Cole Kmet. He got stuffed. No, those plays should be going to Colston Loveland. He's a dynamic receiver. And honestly, Colston Loveland should have more receptions because I think one of them got taken away for a bogus offensive PI. Jesus. The offensive line, man, was amazing today. They announced Braxton Jones. Ben Johnson said Braxton Jones was not going to be the starter. Theo Benedict was going to be the starter. Oh my goodness. The Canadian Eagle. Props up to that motherfucker. Oh my God. I don't think you can have a better starting debut ever before. He had no problems. No problems at all. Theo Benedict, man. Look, man. Again, the film, these defensive-minded coaches will look at film, try to see what Theo Benedict does bad. It's obviously up to Theo Benedict and to adjust to it, as well as it's on our offensive line coach to help him and put him in good positions to win, as well as Ben Johnson putting him in good positions to win the game or to succeed. Let's give it up to Theo Benedict, bro. He was phenomenal today. Heard nothing. No false starts, a dumbass bogus penalty, but he was amazing out there. To go up against that front with those edges of a Von Miller, and I forgot who the other guy they got on the other end, and damn near held them, did nothing on the edge. My God, we could have started this fucking cat all season long. And just this one game, and even in the Raider game when he moved over from right tackle to left tackle and he played immensely better, I'm just like, why did it take Ben Johnson and the staff to wait 4 weeks to realize Braxton Jones is not the answer? He just ain't good. And you put in an undrafted free agent rookie, and my fucking God, an undrafted rookie who played ball in Canada looks immensely better in 2 games at left tackle than Braxton Jones ever did in his entire tenure as a Bears left tackle. I'm not going to say that might be the left tackle of the future, but man, if he keeps putting, hey, look, man, I'm still somebody that, hey, go bring it in their left tackle for competition. But if Theo Benedict keeps putting on good performances and he stacks them and he has consistent play where he's not a problem, I hate to say it, but we may be actually looking at our future left tackle right there with Theo Benedict. Who would have thought? The Bears maybe found a diamond in the rough. Done all right on a bum arm. He was perfect today too. He must have definitely watched the Trapillo tape from the Raider game, and he's like, oh, fuck no, I'm not losing my spot. No false starts, no penalties from Darnell Wright. Exactly what I want to see. That Darnell Wright is the type of Darnell Wright I saw from his rookie year and that's the type of Darnell Wright where I expect him to be a top 10 all-pro type of player. He was amazing today. That entire offensive line was amazing today. Drew Dahlman was amazing today. Jonah Jackson, for once, he only had probably one bad play where I saw him get beat once. After that, nothing else. He was great. Joe Thuney obviously is great. The offensive line was amazing, and that contributed to the running game. We had over 100 yards rushing, 145 yards as a total rushing. DeAndre Swift, 14 carries for 108. I don't know what got into DeAndre Swift. Maybe the bye week, Bieniemy and Ben Johnson said, hey, man, just run downhill. Get the ball, run downhill. Who cares? My God. We were creating holes for DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai to run the ball and get good gains. I was surprised we actually ran the ball today, and we coincidentally enough, we did a good job at stopping the run today against the Commanders. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is why coaching matters. It's clear Ben Johnson and the coaching staff. Yeah, Ben Johnson, he was caught at the Cubs playoff game. I think when they were playing, I think they were playing the Padres in game 3. But at the end of the day, he went right to work and he worked with the coaching staff. And the coaching staff said, we need to get better production out of our offensive line when it comes to running the football. And on top of it, he finally ran the ball multiple times with other running backs. DeAndre Swift, again, got most of the carries, but we also gave it to Kyle Monangai here and there. Shit, Roschon Johnson actually had one fucking carry in this game, and he actually got a fairly good gain. And this is what I'm talking about. It helps when your offense can run the ball effectively. It only makes life easier on Caleb. It only makes things better for the offense, and it helps the offense get into position to at least get field goals, maybe touchdowns. And obviously, the running game being good put us in position to win this game and give Jake Moody the kick. Props up to Jake Moody making 3 of your 4 kicks. The block one, he kicked it way too low. Way too low. But you see what I mean? This is what we're talking about. We get the running game going. This only unlocks a component of the offense that we've been waiting to see. It makes life easier for Caleb Williams where he doesn't have to be Superman and do everything. Because if we had not had a run game, we probably don't win this game. Like, look at this, man. DeAndre Swift averaged 7.7 yards per carry. Like, my God. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is the thing I wanted to see. And coming out of the bye week, the coaching staff this shows you. In one bye week alone, Ben Johnson has eclipsed anything that Matt Eberflus, even Matt Nagy is eclipsed coming out of the bye week. Because when Matt Nagy and Eberflus, we'd always come out of the bye week lackadaisical, like we were unprepared to play this fucking game. Coming out of a bye week. And guess what? This week, yes, were there some mistakes? Were there some issues? Yes, but there's one thing I could say. We were prepared to play today's game. We were prepared to play today's game, and Ben Johnson had these dudes prepared to play the game, and he clearly told these guys, hey, man, enjoy the bye week, but don't enjoy it for too long, because guess what? I need you guys back in work. And clearly, it showed that this bye week, it seems like most of the players, they probably maybe took a day or 2 off, and then they were probably back in the weight room and everything on the facility at Hallis Hall, getting some work in. Probably watching film, doing all this shit. Which is the good thing to do. Probably most of them didn't go out of town. They probably stayed in Chicago for the bye week. Good on them. And that's on the coaching staff in enabling that. Telling these guys, focus at the task at hand. We have a big game next week. Last year, you guys had a bye week before going into this game. You want to be different? You want to win this game? Have the focus. Caleb Williams said in the press conference 2 weeks ago, he said, look, I'm probably going to take a day off, and then I'm going to be back in the facility working. That's the mindset. Rum Dunze said that on Rich Eisen's show. He said he's going to probably enjoy a day or 2 of the bye week, and then he's going to get back to work. And just look at it. Ben Johnson had the team prepared to play. They didn't look lackadaisical. They didn't look lazy. Yeah, again, there's issues that need to be talked about, and there are issues where, there's still need rooms of improvement. But Ben Johnson had these guys prepared to play. Prepared to play. And again, for another game, the only thing I did not like about Ben Johnson today was the 4th down call. The 4th down call was atrocious. Why are we throwing on 4th down? Oh, and then the bobbled snap. Those are probably my only 2 plays that I did not like, right? The 4th down call, you should have just ran the ball there. It's 4th and 1. At that point in the game, you had 85 yards rushing. You were running the ball on the Commanders. You bring in Roschon Johnson. and we pass it. Why? No, you should be running the football. Just run the football. Don't make it simple, stupid. And then on the bubble snap, it's 3rd and 1. Why are we in shotgun? Tell Caleb, get under center, hand the ball to your running back, give it to him. Your running game was really good, and you're overthinking yourself. Your offensive line is getting a push. Trust them. So hopefully going forward, Ben Johnson realizes, hey, next time, let's put it in our running back's hand on 3rd and shorts or 4th and shorts. So, yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing. That is the thing, man. That is the thing. And then before I get out here, the last thing, I know this is a long video, bro, but I just have to get this off my chest, bro. I signaled it earlier in the recap, but the fucking refs, dude. The fucking refs. When I'm seeing a Packer fan on Twitter say, bro, these refs are on some bullshit, bro. A Packers fan is saying this. When you have a Packer fan saying the referees are holding the Bears over and screwing the Bears over, you know the referees are bad. There was about 6 or 7 bad penalties the refs legitimately called on the Bears that had no business being on the Bears. And again, like I said earlier, it really made me think these guys must have put a bet on the Commanders before the game or something. That the Commanders were going to win and do everything. Lord have mercy, bro. One of the first bad penalties, roughing the passer. Sweat gives a tap on the helmet of Jaden Daniels. Flag, roughing the passer. They showed on the replay, nothing that warrants roughing the passer. So, okay, we can't touch Jaden Daniels in the head. Even if it's a little tap. Did nothing to hurt him. It's not like he pushed him down. He sacked him and put all his weight on him. He freaking grabbed at his legs. I'm just like, huh? What are we calling here? The second one, I just mentioned it. Offensive pass interference on freaking Colston Loveland. Colston Loveland's running basically a slant. He does a little bit of little slight push, little jam back to the DB. DB stumbling all over like as if he's freaking, as he got pushed out the way. And I saw that on a replay. I'm like, what are you doing? That's not no damn penalty. That's not an offensive PI. He's freaking acting. Took away a first down there. And I'm like, bro, come on now. You got to be serious now. Do you guys have money? At that point, that's what I'm like, bro, do we have money on the Commanders right now? Are these referees literally have money on the Commanders? Nashawn Wright got called for a bogus fucking face mask. You didn't even see him do the face mask. And I'm like, huh? What are we doing here? That's when I really knew. I'm like, okay, these refs, I'm like, these refs are on the bullshit now. These refs got the money line. These refs are on the Commander's payroll. I'm just like, what the hell? Jaquan Brisker, he had a roughing the passer. He gets pushed into the quarterback, grabbing his legs as Jaden Daniels is throwing the ball out. Roughing the passer. How? And then they had like an illegal hands to the face. Not even illegal. I'm just like, huh? And I think obviously the most egregious one is the Theo Benedict one. When they called a legal, legal motion or whatever, not a legal motion, ineligible formation or illegal formation. And it's the thing of where the offensive lineman has to be lined up on the ball, essentially, right? And basically, when you look at the broadcast, Theo Benedict was on the line. And a lot of people were saying he was online. And the reason why this one was so egregious and so bad, it took a touchdown off the board from Caleb and then Rome. Because Caleb threw a beautiful ball. Rome made the catch, touchdown. Right? And I'm like, yes, we got the touchdown. Right? Yes, yes, yes. Oh, flag. Illegal formation on the offense, number 79. And they go to replay. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, they're like, I don't know how you can freaking. Where is that? Colin Cowherd, who's a notorious Caleb Williams hater today, or as of late, he even on Twitter is saying, I don't know how you can take away that touchdown. Like, what are we doing? Like, other teams essentially do the same thing, and you're calling that a penalty? Like, dog. And they wiped a touchdown off the board for the Bears, and it made them, because the next play they got sacked and they had to kick a field goal. And it's like, bro, these refs were on some bullshit today or tonight. There was a lot of bogus calls. And if I'm the Bears, I don't care if you're Ben Johnson, Ryan Pauls, Kevin Warren, somebody in that organization. You file a report to the NFL. You show them all these penalties and say, hey, man, you need to tell this crew, get the fuck out, and they need to be held. This is why referees in all sports need to be held accountable. They need to be fined. They need to be fined. They need to be penalized or straight up fired. Because these refs, time and time again, they make these freaking game-changing calls that have an effect on the game, and it makes them believe where, are these refs betting on the games too? Where they're like, oh, I got money on the Commanders to beat the Bears. You know, I got the over on the Commanders. We'll throw this penalty to take away a Bears touchdown. Oh, we'll throw that penalty because he tapped Jaden Daniels on the head as a roughing the passer. This is why referees in sports need to be punished. They need to be fired. I know if you dock these referees' pay for all their misses, or you just straight up fire these dudes, all these other referees will actually do the right thing and call games right. And they will call games and actually do the right stuff. Like, the Commanders barely got any penalties. Barely any penalties on them. Yet, the freaking Bears, they're getting some of these BS penalties on them. And I'm just like, dude, come on now. The refs were absolutely terrible. This is probably one of the worst officiated games I've seen in my fucking life. When I legitimately tell you the refs had money on a game, this was this fucking game. You cannot tell me, with all the bullshit calls, all the bullshit flags that they threw on that fucking turf, that it warrants them thinking that they made an objective call. That was some bullshit out there on that field by the referees. And those referees should be fucking fired for that shit. If I'm the Bears, I submit all these plays, and I'm telling Roger Goodell, fire these guys. But see, the problem with these leagues, whether you're MLB, the NBA, the NHL, or the freaking NFL, you won't penalize these referees because your commissioners are too damn soft on these dudes. You need to start penalizing these guys, finding these guys, or just straight out firing these guys for their atrocious calls. It's bullshit, man. We almost got holed and lost this game because of the refs. The refs literally made a swing of a game where they took a touchdown off the board from us. Because we can't have that. So when I watched Ben Jones' press conference, hopefully he called the referees out for the bullshit they had. And then don't even get me started. Last thing, I said the refs were the last thing. The last thing, bro. Please take us off Monday Night Football. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck calling the fucking game. Because, my God. Troy Aikman, dude. Troy Aikman, bro. Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, bro. Troy Aikman does not like Caleb Williams, dude. Maybe it's because he's a USC quarterback. Caleb Williams played at USC. Troy Aikman played at UCLA. Like, Troy Aikman's taking like these shots and these digs at Caleb, and it's just like, dude, do you actually hate Caleb? Like, fuck out of here with this shit. Troy Aikman was taking like damn near ripping Caleb Williams almost at every fucking pass, even if it was a completion. I'm like, dude, get your hate out your heart. Do you have some sort of vendetta? Is it because Caleb Williams played at UC? Look, I'm a Bruins fan myself. I love UCLA Bruins football, but fuck, I'm not gonna hate on a dude because he played at USC. Like fuck, Troy Aikman was fucking ripping this guy. Like the deep pass, the deep crosser pass to Luther Burden, right? The deep post, right, to Luther Burden that got a big game. Troy Aikman literally one of the broadcasters said, "Well, Caleb could have threw it a little bit earlier, and he could have had his feet a little bit set because he was kind of late on the throw or the late on the read." And I'm like, dude, the Bears just picked up a 20, 30 plus yard gain. And you're telling me he was late with the fucking throw? Dog, what are you talking about? See, this is why I wish I was up in the fucking booth and I'd be like, bro, I don't care if you're a Hall of Fame fucking quarterback. Man, what is the deal with you? I would have slapped him upside the head, be like, Troy, I would have been like, Troy, come on now. 30-yard gain. What are you talking about? You hate, he threw a little bit late. Is the point is you gets it to the guy and they make a play? He made it seem like he was supposed to throw a touchdown on that play. Again, honestly, if the Bears play Monday Night Football and I see Troy Aikman and Joe Buck calling the game, I'm putting my TV on mute. I'm putting the TV on mute, bro. I don't know, man. It's like this vendetta with these commentators, man. They just want to see the Bears just be bad. Troy Aikman, man, I'm convinced he hates Caleb Williams because he went to USC and he's a UCLA quarterback. That's my only best guess, and probably because Caleb Williams beat UCLA in the Rose Bowl. Well, UCLA the following year beat him in the fucking Coliseum. So like, what? Anyways, the Bears won. The Bears won the game today, and I'm proud. I'm happy that they won. They avenged the loss that should have not happened last year. And again, the Bears found a way to win. So I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Cut you guys in this video. It's probably a long ass video. It's definitely been over an hour, but I just had to get everything on my chest. That's how much this win means to me. This win meant a lot to me because I knew how bad that loss put me in. Because it made me hate the team even more. It made me want Eberflus fired. And it just made me feel bad for the players because they legitimately had a chance to win. And because of a dumbass coach and then a player who just wasn't focused, lost us the game. And when I'm telling you coaching matters, games like this today, that's why coaching matters. I also got to give respect to Ben Johnson. He didn't have to trust Jake Moody, but he trusted Jake Moody, a kicker he brought up, a kicker that missed a lot of kicks for the 49ers. And, he got cut. And usually, sometimes for these kickers, it takes getting cut for you to realize what you need to do better so then you can do it. I don't know if Cairo's going to be ready to go next week, but at least we know that Jake Moody is a guy waiting in the wings that, hey, if Cairo goes down, we can call up Jake Moody and he can give us some good kicks. So whatever Jake Moody is doing his preparation that is new now after getting cut, keep it up. Keep it up. Because that's the stuff. Typically, with these kickers, usually after the first cut, they get better from it because they know these are the areas of my game I fucked up. If I can get better at this, I can find a home. And shit, if Jake Moody doesn't find a home here, he may have found a home somewhere else. Because another team will be willing to give him a chance. So, we'll see. Next week, the Bears play the New Orleans Saints. That's going to be a tough matchup, just strictly from the fact that the Saints do play hard. It's at home. Very winnable game. And that's basically going to be the matchup between Oklahoma quarterbacks. The guy that was supposed to be in the shoes of what Caleb Williams is being shown at, Spencer Rattler, versus the guy that took Spencer Rattler's job in Caleb Williams. So there's going to probably be motivation for Spencer Rattler to try to show up the guy that took his job from him, who made him transfer to South Carolina. But at the same time, there's probably going to be something for Caleb to prove, like he proved tonight, like he wanted to prove tonight that he's the Bears. He's to prove the reason why he was drafted by the Bears. He's probably going to try to come in the game with a prove that no, this is why I took your job, Spencer. So I'll tell you this: it's going to be very interesting in the press conference when they ask him the question about like it's both of them about each other. It's gonna be interesting to hear what Spencer says about Caleb and what Caleb has to say about Spencer. So it definitely is gonna be interesting to see what they both say about each other building up to this game. So other than that, I'm gonna get over, guys. Catch you guys in this video. I hope you guys liked the video. Bears get the W. We're gonna be back next week for Bears Saints recap. Hopefully, my uncle Daryl will be on the channel next week so he can give his thoughts and stuff like that. So yeah, but till then, guys, have a great rest of your day. Bear down, and we can sleep peacefully tonight. At least we'll have Victory Tuesday tomorrow. But till then, guys, peace.